I want to be a good guy. And that should be your first clue that I'm a bad guy. Good guys don't say that. They're just that. So the fact that I'm striving for something that I'm not, that, is a good sign. It's a great sign, right? Yeah. That's actually my wife's handwriting. So when I asked her to do that, what I was really it's basically her signing off on me being a good guy without her knowing it. She was like, oh, I gotta write something in neon? I'm like, well, I just kind of want to make sure we remember what you wrote. But I want to be a good guy. And the thing about being a good guy is you can't just gather your friends up and say, hey guys, I'm gonna do a 180. Thanks for coming out to Denny's. I just wanted to open it up with that. And if you guys could just mention that to everybody forever, I'd appreciate it. You can't do it that way. What you do is you make good decisions over time and you hope that people notice. And they think, you know what, he used to not pick me up from the airport because he told me I wasn't an adult, because I should just figure rides out. But this time he almost did. And that's what being a good person is, being there for your friends and family. And it just is choices over time to make you a better person. So the first decision that I made to be a good guy is I decided to quit smoking marijuana. Illegally. And I got my pot card. Because, well, I live in California right now where, you still have to lie to doctors. And the thing about it is they say it's so easy. You go into the doctor and you say, my back hurts, or I've got anxiety, and they just want you to smoke weed. And so I went into a doctor and said, I've got anxiety that someday my back might hurt. And he said, dude, that's a serious issue. A lot of people your age are dealing with that right now. Let's cut that off before it starts. And he gave me a weed card. Because I think scumbags go to drug dealers, but good guys lie to doctors. And so there I am. I've got my weed card. The feeling of having your weed card, I've just ran out into the streets of LA like, where are we going? And there's weed stores everywhere, and I picked one and I hoped it was the right one, and I go in and it was, because there was weed there. And if you've never been into a weed store, the best way to describe it is that it's like every store you've ever been in, but all weed, right? And so they've got everything. They've got like weed water, weed sodas, trail mix, lip balm, lotions. And they even just have this little area in the corner where they just have weed. Like what our forefathers used to smoke. And I'm an old-fashioned guy. I like to smoke weed. I like to smoke a weed. It is a saying that I have coined. So I bought some weed to smoke, and I said, thank you so much. And I turned to walk out, and it didn't feel real. I just bought drugs, and I was able to walk outside. And I turned to walk out, and with drugs in one hand and a hand on a doorknob to freedom, from over my shoulder, I hear, oh, Mr. Thune, one more thing. And that's the moment that you realize it's been a 6-year sting operation focused on me. And there's like 8 cops out in a van like, I didn't think you'd fucking do it. We're going home. Jason, you're gonna meet your daughter. And I turn around just where's the handcuffs? Just break them out. And she doesn't have handcuffs. She's actually holding a weed brownie. And she says, Mr. Thune, I know it's your first time here, and it's a cutthroat business out there. We're glad you chose us, and we hope you keep coming back. And to show our gratitude, here's a free weed brownie. And she handed me a weed brownie that was about the size of a VHS tape. And I know this is streaming, and there's younger audiences. It's like 4 Apple TVs. Same amount of content. And I'm holding the weed brownie and I'm looking at it, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't like to eat weed brownies because I don't like to feel like I'm dying all the time. But we all learned in elementary school, you never say no to drugs. You accept the drug. You either learn to like it or you give it to your best friend on his wedding day. And so I accepted the weed brownie and I said, thank you so much. Thank you. Someday. And I turned to walk out. And as I turned to walk out and I had my hand on the door again, she said, oh, wait, Mr. Thune, I almost forgot. One more thing. And that's the moment you realize that they just planted more drugs on me. The guys in the band are like, I didn't think you'd do that. Offer him Coke. See what he says. Tell him there's hookers in the back. And I turn around just like, just call my wife, tell her it's over. Just take me away. And she says, what I almost forgot to tell you is make sure and only eat an eighth of it. And I was like, an eighth of it? And she was like, I mean, yeah, basically what you want to do, okay, what you want to do is first off, you just want to break it up into halves. And then what you're going to want to do is you want to break both those up into halves. And then at that point, and I was like, oh, no, I know fractions. Oh, I am so sorry I didn't stop you. I didn't know you were defining fractions. I was just curious as to how you almost forgot to tell me that I might die. But thank you so much. Thank you. Someday. And I took the weed brownie and I took it home. And when I got home, I put the weed brownie in a backpack. And you guys, that's not me bragging. We've all got backpacks. You know, I'm not trying to act like I'm better than you. Oh, the big guy who moved to LA has backpacks now. I just have a backpack that I'll keep drugs in every now and again. And I put it in there and I thought, someday. And then I moved on with my life. And then later that night, I took all the weed that I had bought just to smoke and I took it over to a friend's house. And me and him smoked all of that weed in his backyard like responsible 36-year-old men do on a Tuesday every now and again. We were playing pinball in his backyard. He has a pinball machine back there, just outside. Because in California, you can just put stuff outside. And it's so close to you guys. What if you could put your stuff outside? It's an interesting sell for California. They're all moving up here. You guys could put your stuff outside down there. Think about it. So we're out there playing pinball, and then I had that moment around midnight, that moment where your heart sinks into your stomach and oh my phone. I'd put my phone over on a bench about 2 hours ago, and for 2 hours, I'd just been sitting there living my fucking life. And you see your phone, it's just like, oh my God, what happened? What's going on? And there it is, I've missed 5 phone calls from my wife. And it didn't feel that important. So I hop back onto the pinball machine, and I keep playing pinball, and then I hear the 6th phone call coming in. And you guys, if you know me, you know that I get the 6th phone call every fucking time. That's a guarantee. So I pick up the phone, and before I can say a word, it's Suzanne on the other end just screaming, what the fuck was in your backpack? What the fuck did you put in that backpack? And when you're as high as I am, and somebody calls you and they're angrily yelling about backpacks in a very accusatory manner, in my stoned brain, all I could hear was her questioning my backpack knowledge. All I could hear was, you don't know shit about backpacks. You're not the man I married. And I'm just like, whoa, Suzanne, you called the wrong guy. You know I know about backpacks. And you used to have a JanSport back when we met, when you were fucking real. Where's that JanSport at, Suzanne? And then it just gets real quiet, and my friend Cameron's in the corner just like, yeah, dude, yeah. Tell Suzanne hey for me, too. And then this is the moment where everything is like, wait, what are we yelling about? What's happening right now? Is this Suzanne? Like, a lot of thoughts going through my head. And then in that moment, Suzanne said in the most calm manner, Whatever was in your backpack, Mikey ate. Mikey's our 36-pound French bulldog. I am Mikey's 185-pound owner. 90. 190. I'm 6'4". Mikey's like dog height. I was supposed to eat 1/8 of it. Mikey ate the whole goddamn thing. Because Mikey likey. And I told him, when you go hard, buddy, every time. And as all of that was processing in my head, my wife, who is living the worst life with the worst husband, just said, just get the fuck home. And she hung up, and I just sprung into action. I looked at my friend, and I said nothing. And I ran to my car. And when I got to my car, I ran back into my friend's house, and he helped me find my car keys for about 10 minutes. Found my car keys, ran back out to the car, got in the car, drove home, and I did not listen to any music on that drive home because I didn't deserve it. Because the new responsible Nick doesn't just flip on tunes when he's in trouble. He thinks about what he did. And he might not be able to figure out the stereo at that moment. So I drove home, and when I got home, I pulled into our driveway, and the best way to describe our driveway is it's curved. So as you pull in at night, and your headlights wipe the house, right? Just like, shoo. And there, at the end of the wipe, was the end of the driveway where my wife's car was parked. And for that moment, I could see her face. And the only way to describe the look that was on her face is divorce. Parked my car, got out, ran around, and there's Mikey just sprawled out in the back seat of her car. And the only way to describe how high Mikey was is Burning Man high. He's like a dog that's been stuck at a hippie festival in the Nevada desert for 14 days, and he just needs a ride home. And he's not even sure he's a dog anymore. And he's wearing pants. Did Mikey buy pants? Did he have money at some point? These are kind of... Turns out he couldn't hold his pee in. So she just put my favorite pair of pants on him. That were not at the top of the drawer. She fucking dug those out. Which I deserved. So I hop in the back seat with Mikey, because there's no way I'm gonna sit up front with an angry pregnant lady. I hadn't even mentioned she's pregnant. Edit that out. Let's just say she's sober. I think it's better for the story, for me. So I hop in the back seat with Mikey. We got a real angry sober lady up front, and she backs out of the driveway and starts driving to the vet in a way that is exciting. It's like, this is the woman I married. You drive like this forever. This is exciting. And I'm in the back seat, and all of a sudden, it feels like a cool stoner buddy comedy adventure. Like, I'm James Franco, and he's Seth Rogen, and who knows what's gonna happen. We know Judd Apatow's on board. And we are driving, and halfway to the vet, she realizes that I am as high as the dog is. And it was subtle. It was just, I had my head out the window. Now, I married a smart woman, because most simpletons would just roll the window up. But it's actually a two-step process for a genius. She locked the windows and then rolled it up. Caught a lot of chin, good amount of hair. And then she said, as the window was up and I was sitting back there slightly confused, she said, Nick, I just want to know. I just have a question. I just want to know if this is you. Is this who you are? Is this the man I married? Who's gonna be a father? Who's a dog owner? My husband? Is this who you are? And it's just like, you're fucking bumming me out right now. I am really stoned. And anybody that's ever smoked weed before, you know that you could go down two paths right there. The darkest path ever, or want to be better. And I wanted to be better. And so we got to the vet, and I grabbed Mikey, and I ran like it was Boys in the Hood, and my best friend's been shot. I get to the front door of a 24-hour vet, and I kick it open, and me and my stone dog enter extremely loudly into a very quiet and somber waiting room to a 24-hour vet. People are sitting in this waiting room whose animals are currently dying. And Mikey is living for the first time. And what do you do? What do you do in that situation? And I'll tell you what you do is you fill out a shitload of paperwork. And it's questions like, what's your dog's name? And honestly, who fucking cares? His name's Dog. Fix Dog. Dog. What's his birthday? Oh. Who wrote this? I don't know Abraham Lincoln's birthday. You think I know this turd's birthday? One of them freed slaves. The other one eats human shit whenever he has an opportunity. Happened twice. Worst 2 days of my life. I don't know his birthday. So I just put my dad's. It's May 17th, 1950. He's an old dog. He's doing great. If there's anything you're going to say about us as dog owners, he's doing pretty good. Next question. What's your name? Okay. All right. I guess I'll take this one left-handed. Nick Thune threw the pen, went for a high five. Suzanne didn't care. And then they take us back to the room. So this assistant walks us back, and they put us in this small room. Suzanne sits back in the corner. A lot of anger. Real quiet. I'm in the middle of the room holding Mikey. Still have a pretty good buzz going. And that's the moment that the vet walks into the room. And this is the order in which it happens. She's bouncing from room to room. Animals are dying everywhere. She's flipping through paperwork. She doesn't have time to look at paperwork before she comes in. She comes in the room just buried in the paperwork, and she goes, oh my God, Nick Thune. Looks up, realizes the tension. Oh, sorry, I saw your name. I'm a big fan of your comedy. This is crazy. Anyway, so what's going on with Dog? Oh, two horrible things just happened. One, Suzanne just realized I wrote down our dog's name as Dog. Two, this person likes me, actually thinks I'm a good guy. Suzanne's in the corner just like, what? What is my life? The vet's looking at me like kind of getting it, like, you fucking rascal. But the vet's a pro, she pushes through it. She goes, okay, well, how much weed did he eat? And I was like, I'm probably the only one that knows that. Standard VHS size brownie. And then she said, did he eat the whole thing? And that's when I said, knowing him, he probably put a little aside for later. To which she laughed out loud at because she should have, because she's a fan, and I gave her everything she wanted. That was some off-duty, pro bono, off-the-clock shit. Just like, oh, you like my stuff? There you go, babe. That one's for you. And she's looking at me like, you're the fucking best. And I'm looking at her like, if this doesn't work out, you and me forever. And in that moment, Suzanne takes the car keys out of her purse and throws them across the room, and they hit me in the side of the head, and she says, go wait in the fucking car. Freeze frame. That's it. That's the 25-minute story I'm opening my special with. Think about it. Think about it for just a second, though. What just happened? What just happened? If you look at that moment for just a second, just that whole moment, that freeze frame, and think, who's in the room? Who do we got? We've got Nick. We've got a fan, right? We've got not a fan, for good reasons. What happened there? And I think if you ask most people, they'll say, well, you're an asshole and she was angry. But if you surround yourself with yes people, what I think really happened there is she was basically saying, hey, big guy, you're fucking killing it in here. This is why I married you. Get outside, have a cigarette. I'm gonna handle all this adult bullshit. They're probably gonna keep Mikey overnight. We can go home, enjoy ourselves without this creep watching us for once. So anyway, Mikey got sober 2 days later. He's been sober about a year now, and we are just so proud of him.